Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Shoba Suri, Senior Fellow from Observer Research Foundation, and today we are going to be talking about COVID-19 and mental health. As we know that the outbreak of the corona pandemic and the subsequent lockdown has led to stress and anxiety in people. Fear about a disease can be overwhelming and can cause strong emotion in adults and children. The threat of getting infected, being a carrier of the virus, it what makes the disease more emotionally threatening. The World Health Organization has come up with mental health and psychosocial considerations during the COVID-19 outbreak. As we all now focus on understanding the epidemiology, the clinical features, and the management of COVID-19, it is also utmost important to address the mental health amongst the public. Today we have with us Dr. Prerna Kolhi, a 4-time gold medalist, an eminent clinical psychologist, a public speaker, a workshop facilitator, intensive research scholar, and a social worker, telling us about coping stress and anxiety during the coronavirus. Hello, Dr. Kolhi. Can you tell us what impact does COVID-19 pandemic have on our mental health, both at the individual as well as the community level?
Namaskar. Thank you for having me over to speak to you about mental health, because as we are working on our increasing our physical immunity, it is equally important to work on increasing our mental immunity. So the impact of COVID-19 and the lockdown is making people very stressed, anxious, and depressed. Because for several reasons, and some of them I can just point out to them. One is that everybody is very anxious about their health and health of their loved ones. Also, the uncertainty and unpredictableness about it. The second thing is that people are very, very worried and anxious about the financial impact that will have in their lives. And I think thirdly, the change in the lifestyle that one has to make because of the lockdown. So this is really impacting the individual and community at large, because by and large, we like to be in control of things so we can address them and manage them. But at this moment, because of the pandemic, we are totally out of control. We are overwhelmed. We are confused. We are worrying. We are anxious. So yes, it's had a huge mental impact on the individual and the community.
I can understand it's all the helplessness which is causing the anxiety and the worry in the community. Can you tell us some strategies on coping with this stress and anxiety? Probably some tips you can give us?
Okay, I will give you all these strategies that, for example, I follow to be coping with any kind of anxiety or stress or any kind of depression or worry coming out of it. See, first and foremost, you have to accept and acknowledge this issue. There is a pandemic and there is a lockdown. The more you accept the reality of it, the less you will feel a victim or being alone in it or getting more confused and unhappy about it. Yes, there is an issue. Now we have to train our mind how to manage, address, and deal with it. So the first thing is that please accept and acknowledge this issue of COVID-19 and the lockdown. Second, I will sincerely advise you to limit your consumption of media. If you're going to switch on your screens to watch the news, or you're going on to look at your WhatsApp, or keep, chatting with people, just talking about it all the time, every time, you must know that this will spike up your anxiety, because there is overload of information. So you must limit the time you spend on consuming the material that you are through podcasts, through print, through, any kind of maybe social media. And you can put a time to it, maybe twice a day, maybe thrice a day, you will go and check out and get an update of the pandemic. I will also suggest you to choose carefully the media that you consume. You must, be seeing or watching or listening to the media that you trust, because, unnecessary rumors again get us out of control and make us feel very hopeless and helpless. The third thing, which will really be very beneficial to calm yourself, and lead a centered and happier state in this time would be to create a schedule. Maybe just today, write down a routine for tomorrow, day after, and the coming week. Till at least 14th April, we have this lockdown. Have a routine, and maybe hour by hour, the time you want to wake up, sleep, exercise, and diligently follow it, consistently follow it. So you look forward to waking up to something the next day. So for example, if you get up in the morning, the same time you're taking a bath every other time before the COVID-19 and the lockdown, you dress up and, you feel nice and you set the tone. You set the tone for your day. So I wouldn't tell you to be all over the place every day. Help your family also to create a schedule. This will also help you to give time, space, and tasks, together with the family. And if you're alone, it'll work well for you. I will also encourage the fourth technique. I will encourage you to maintain a social support. It is very helpful to increase the emotional, distance. We might have to, not decrease the emotional distance and increase the social distance, because you will not feel alone. You could use the help of electronic media. You could go on to video chatting. You could have your meetings there. You could have your coffee together. You could have exercises. You could have meditations together. So much is happening out there to help you maintain that social support. Very, very important. The fifth technique that I would like to emphasize is about exercise. Any kind of strength exercise. I know the gyms are closed, but any kind of strength exercise like, doing push-ups or picking up the bricks if you don't have weight, or any kind of band, or doing yoga exercises for strengthening your lungs would be very, very beneficial, because strengthening exercises always help you to focus and concentrate. I would encourage you to do a lot of deep breathing exercise, and I would like to do one just now. If you could, it's a very simple one, which we call about one breath meditation. We just will breathe in through our nose for the count of 4. Inhale. We will hold it here to the count of 4, and we'll exhale through our mouth again with the mouth open, like you're blowing some candles on your beautiful birthday cake, to the count of 4. It'll help you to be mindful about your breathing. It'll also help you to remain calm. So I'll just do it once for you. One more time. You can keep your eyes closed or open. Laughing exercise and yoga is very helpful. It's like ha 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 ha. I'm already feeling the serotonin dropping in my head. All right. So the brain doesn't know whether you're watching a comedy show or you're just doing the ha 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 ha. All right. It also helps you to increase your lung capacity, or the bumblebee exercise, or the humming exercise. Like singing songs. It will also help to, increase the brain activity, help in the transmitting of good serotonins and dopamines to help you feel calmer. The other thing I will encourage, the sixth strategy that will encourage is focus on what you can control. We are anxious, we are worried, we are feeling helpless, hopeless, because just we feel everything is out of control. There's nothing we can control, because it's happened to just me, or it's happened to my family, or it's happened to my state or my country. It is a global crisis. So focus on what you can control, and you can control simple things like doing an activity, say for example, cooking, baking, and feeling a feeling of accomplishment that you've been able to cook a dish. Or for example, any other hobby, maybe playing an instrument and completing it for a certain period of time that you set out to, then it gives you a feeling of completion and well-being. It could be anything. It could be dancing, it could be drawing, it could be reading literature, it could be looking into poetry, it could be actually doing some inner reflections. We were having in our head all the time that we are running, to-do list. this is the time to have a can be list. Can we be calmer? Can we be happier? Can we be more settled? And, probably we wanted to give those clothes to the NGO and we didn't have time. Pull them out, your old clothes. Maybe you wanted to, learn a new dish. You can look out for the recipes. So much of help is available at your, virtual reality. You have so many YouTube, here wonderful motivational videos to keep your inner peace. So I'll really encourage you to focus on things that you can control. The other thing is externalize your anxiety. What we mean is the narrative therapy. Instead of saying that, anxiety makes me feel awful, you can keep putting it out. Instead of saying, what should I do? I'm feeling so awful. I'm feeling so awful. You can just say, okay, is this anxiety which is making me feel awful? How am I going to deal with it? I am going to deal with it by going and exercising. Or if you think that, anxiety doesn't let me, focus on that yoga exercise. You'll tell yourself, it's anxiety, I'll deal with. Maybe after half an hour, let me sleep for a while, or let me finish my drawing, then I will come and deal. So you externalize instead of internalize. Because if you keep internalizing it, you'll feel very helpless about it. So externalize anxiety. I would also suggest that, some of us are living with a family. There are children who are getting, very restless. There are elderly people who are also very vulnerable. They do not know the unpredictability and how to handle it. Already they are not in a very mentally and emotionally very, very great strength of space because of their age. I would tell you to be please be a little more patient, more adaptable, more flexible, and not get irritated. Even if you're alone, not to get irritated, because we have a choice. This is the issue we have. We have a choice to be happy, or we have a choice to keep worrying and be unhappy about it. So even if one person in the family is going to show worry, the rest of the family will start worrying. So let's take a responsibility for ourselves and say, okay, I will work on myself to keep myself calm. I will also suggest the 9 technique to balance your emotions with some logic. All kinds of confusion, overwhelmed feeling will keep coming, but you also have to balance it with, logic. Every thought that is coming in your mind is not reality. There are a lot of things that we are assuming. You can go back to the history of mankind and know that pandemics get over. Economically, we start bouncing back. People stop suffering. This is also a reality. So focus on this also. I would also, interestingly, sounds strange, would encourage you to maintain a schedule to worry. All right. So you'll say, okay, in my schedule, that a routine I have, I will worry from 7 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. And if you're, cooking, cleaning, bathing, and you start getting worried, you say, no, my time to worry is from 7 to 7:15. This way you will not be all over the place. You will be focused. You'll be able to take out your day-to-day tasks in a happier, calmer way. Also, it will help to maintain a gratitude journal. Write down every day 3 things that you're grateful for. Maybe for the food you have on your table, maybe for the roof you have over your head, maybe for the social support, maybe you slept well, maybe you did that piece of poetry, you wrote very well. I want you to focus on all that you have than what you don't have. Feeling yourself in this space is very important. It will give you more strength, mental and emotional strength, to cope up with the anxiety or stress or any kind of, uncertainty that you're feeling. The other thing I would tell, which I use very often and tell all my cases also, to do positive affirmations. Affirmation is an inspirational, positive sentence which fosters a lot of faith in helping us to overcome any issue or any challenge at hand. So affirmations with the help of a mirror, we call this a mirror therapy, standing in front of the mirror and saying, I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm blessed, I am protected, everything is well in my world. Do it twice a day, thrice a day. Maybe do it with the rest of your family. It will really raise your energy, because we're made of energy. We have to keep our spirit high. We have to come together to overcome this. And I'm sure that the techniques I've told you, I practice them. I always practice what I preach, will keep you calmer, will keep you at peace, and you'll be able to overcome this challenge.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kolhi, for your time and giving us guidance and tips, and also demonstrating how we can exercise and keep ourselves calm and to manage our own mental health as well as well-being of that of our community. Now, I know I'm going to make a schedule and I'm going to start saying that I am happy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your insights.
Thank you so much for having me over. Thank you.